Thanks for joining us, guys. Injury report coming out from last night, actually. Other than obviously the significant injury to Sherrod, came out of it fairly decent. Sherrod had surgery this morning, pretty much got back to Columbia, went straight to the hospital, and pretty much went right into surgery. Obviously, he'll be out for a while. There is a chance, depending on how the recovery goes, that he could be back by November, by the end of the season. But right now, he's just got to recover from the surgery and then get back at it. Hate it for him, and what a fantastic young man that was really, really playing well for us. And that's obviously a tough loss, but the rest of that group has got to step up. David Spalding's got a little leg bruise, got hit in the leg last night. He should be fine, though. And then Zeb, his hand is bandaged up pretty good right now, and obviously not able to throw the football and struggling to get feeling back. But we anticipate him being healthy and ready to roll on Saturday night, assuming he comes back like we think he would here this week. Looking back at last night, like I said after the game, I mean, our guys really, really, really played physical and really, really, really competed for the most part. Was very proud of them from that standpoint. That was a physical and violent football game. Some of the speed and the collisions down on the sideline were really powerful, and our guys were right in the middle of it without a doubt. Got more physical in a lot of ways as the game went on against a really, really talented team, a really, really good team, and a really, really well-coached team, without a doubt. Third downs on defense were not good at all. One of the keys to the game for us defensively was getting off the field on third down, and we did not do that. We were very, very poor at that, and certainly, I mean, we've been good on third down defense. We weren't last night. Red zone offense, who knows how that game goes. If we're able to score touchdowns when we have field position down in the red zone, as opposed to having to kick field goals, that was tough. And we've got to be able to get 7 points when we're down there and not settle for 3. And then obviously some of the tough penalties. Down there in the red zone one time, we turn a guy free and pass pro, and Luke sits in there, takes a hit, delivers a pass, and have a chance to make a catch and don't get it done. That could be first and goal on the 4-yard line going in to make it 14-10, I think, and then we get it to 14-6, and we get a big play on the sideline and have an unfortunate over there, but that's going to be first and 10 on the 47-yard line going in with a chance to make it 14-13 or 14-14. The end of the second half, that is totally on me and no one else. I called a timeout after Jabari Ellis made a great play. One was, if they were going to kick a field goal, it would have been a long one, but certainly within their kicker's range, and felt like, that would be an opportunity to potentially block a kick and something happened. Or if they did punt, at that point, I'll be honest, we had made some plays in the passing game, and Josh Van had made some great catches, and thought that might be an opportunity to, try and hit a big play on them one time, and we max protected coming out of the end zone. Not Marcus Satterfield, I told, Marcus to take a shot, and that's what we did. And obviously we had a max protection. We had 8 guys in protection. It was a 2-man route, and they brought some pressure, and we turned the guy free and gave up a safety, and then not very good when we went back out there for defense for 2 minutes. But again, that's on me, and I told the team that today. I gave Georgia 5 points, and I'm always going to be aggressive, but, that probably wasn't the time for it. Didn't like the way that we started the third quarter. We went in at halftime, and we're very motivated to come back out and start the third quarter with a bang, and we turned the ball over, give up an explosive play on defense, give up another turnover, and next thing you know, that score got a little crazy. But proud of the guys, the way they fought all night. Proud of Luke. to come in off very, very little reps in practice against, in a full team mode and perform like he did. I mean, it was really, really, really impressive what he did last night at the quarterback position, sitting in the, taking hits, making some big-time throws. Obviously a little bit off on some of the deep balls, but we'll get that corrected and to be expected with, his first real action since preseason camp. But proud of him and the toughness he showed. And then, proud of our receivers. I've been hearing all along about what we don't have at the receiver position, and it was really impressive to see our receivers last night go up and make some competitive 50-50 plays against a really good group of defensive backs. So nowhere good enough. We're not walking around today patting ourselves on the back about moral victories, but there is a lot of really good from last night that we can build on, and we got to continue to get better as a football team. Just told them we just got off the practice field, and I told them that we got a chance to be a really good team, but we got to get better from last week or from last night to this Saturday, and then keep improving throughout the season. But excited about the group. No one's feeling good today, but we are excited about the direction and where we're going and what's in front of us. So be glad to answer any questions. Having said that.
Hey, Shane, it's Dave. Is there an update on Cam Smith?
Oh, yeah, I didn't say Cam, did I? No, he got that foot stepped on. He didn't practice tonight. He's probable for Saturday. We did get an X-ray on that earlier today. I hadn't heard the result, but he was walking around okay at practice tonight, a little ginger, but we fully expect him to be okay for Saturday night.
Shane, this is Colin.
Hey, Shane, it's Corey. Can you just give some specifics on Sherrod? Was it ACL, MCL? What was the specifics of his injury?
No, it was not a knee. It was more like ankle, lower leg-ish as far as what it was. I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to get too into calling exactly what I say and things like that, but it was more his ankle and that biggest bone that like protrudes out down there where your ankle is. I believe it was that one that was broke, but our trainers knew it on the field. That's why we put him in a cast and brought the cart out. I haven't had a chance to talk to Dr. Guy yet today. I've talked to Clint, obviously, and got to talk to Dr. Guy tonight, but it was not a knee. It was more lower leg.
Hey, Shane, Ben. On Luke, you mentioned just kind of how he responded, obviously in a tough situation, being thrust in. Just when you look back, what are maybe some of the positives you take from that experience with him, and maybe what are one or two things that, you want to see from him this week if he is the starter going forward, and, how do you kind of make that assessment as well this week?
I think, I'm so proud of him. I mean, we thought going into Saturday night that, there was a chance he would play, but we certainly didn't think it was going to be that early, and, he stepped in, hadn't missed a beat since August. So proud of him, the toughness he showed, the willingness to run, the leadership he showed, throughout the night, and certainly there's some, play call mechanics, line of scrimmage issue. Obviously, it was really, really loud in there last night, and we got to be able to do a better job of getting things communicated from the sideline to the field and huddle to the line of scrimmage and at the line of scrimmage. So certainly some areas that he can improve with that, like we all can. And then just some of the timing on some of the throws and deep balls and things like that we were a little bit off. I mean, we had Van and some of those guys open a couple other times that we weren't able to connect on. So I think the biggest thing with him is just the timing of that as he continues to progress and get better.
Shane, this is you mentioned last night just wanting to coach better and then still learning a little bit of that. Just what do you mean by that? What are some maybe over the first three games that you've learned about yourself as a coach and you want to see either get better or improve?
I spent a lot of time studying and thinking about situational football, and was trying to be aggressive and try and get some points before the half, last night. So that was one thing that I was talking to. I probably didn't put our players in the best position, and I told them that at halftime. I told them that after the game, and I told them that today in the team meeting also. But you know, I'm not sitting here patting myself on the back about us being 2-1, but I just try and, you know, maintain positivity and maintain composure on the sideline and help our players throughout the game be successful, like all of us, as our entire staff does. And you know, I've probably more so not so much learned about me, just more so learned about this team, that we got a bunch of guys that'll fight their butts off and compete their butts off and not worry about the scoreboard, and not, you know, our effort and our emotion and our physicality and our competitive spirit isn't dictated by, you know, who we're playing or what's on the scoreboard. That's just the mentality that we want to have all the time, regardless of the opponent, and I've seen that from our guys for the most part in the last 3 games.
Hey, Shane, this is John.
Again,
when you look at the first 3 games on tape, what do you feel like the offensive line is done well schematically? What do you feel like y'all are best at right now at this point?
You know, it's hard to say. When we didn't do a lot of good last night, just to be honest, and that's all of us again, coaches, offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. We've got to be able to run the ball more effectively, and it was a combination of things last night, and give Georgia a lot of credit. But you know, we need to get not that we haven't before, but we've got to continue to look at what our offensive line does well, what our running backs run well, what they have confidence in running, and you know, continue to work on that. I mean, last night we ran some, you know, different types of schemes, not different in that we hadn't done it before, just, you know, multiple schemes, and continuing to just look. I mean, we're still learning a lot about our football team, and our running backs are still, you know, not to make excuses for them, knocking the rust off in some ways, and you know, continuing to learn us as well. So this is a big week from that standpoint. You know, we need to be able to hang our hat on something that we can run, and we're not quite there yet, but we will be.
Shane, Dave again. I mean, following up on that, is it just a scheme question, a personnel question? Is there one thing that you guys can identify about what's going on up front?
No, it's a combination of everything. I mean, give Georgia a lot of credit. I don't care who your offensive line is; they're going to have a hard time blocking that group. And I mean, they're really, really talented. We certainly had some plays last night that we weren't proud of, without a doubt. And we've got to, you know, be better from a schematic issue. That's, you know, coaching. We've got to be better from a personnel issue, continuing to coach our guys and whatnot. So I don't know if you can pinpoint one thing or whatnot. In the run game, it's a multitude of things. I've said all along that I feel like the offensive line can be a strength of this offense because of the guys that we had returning. Our running backs can be a strength of the offense because of the guys we had returning, and I don't feel, you know, any differently today. We've just got to, you know, continue to look at that. It's been a big point of emphasis tonight. I mean, we didn't get back till whatever it was, 3 or 3:30 in the morning. I don't think last night, 3 o'clock, something like that. But I mean, I'm like most of the coaches, you know, had my iPad watching the tape of the game all the way back to Columbia, and was back in the office early this morning, you know, trying to figure out how we're going to be better.
Shane, just to follow up on that, you mentioned that you felt like this is a big week for those guys on the offensive line. How do you approach that with them? Is that a specific kind of candid conversation you have with them, or what's your approach with those guys this week?
No, it's a big week for everybody. It's the next game. It's another SEC game, and it's not like I went in the offensive line room and said, "Okay, guys, if we don't do better this week, we're in trouble." I mean, they know we didn't we're not running the ball effectively enough. We want to be efficient running the ball each and every week, and we're not right now, and that's on all of us, not just the offensive line. I mean, those guys are a very prideful group and a really, really talented group, and we've got to be better. And it's a big week because it's the next week, and whether we were playing Kentucky or Murray State or whoever from the state of Kentucky, it's a big week. We gotta be better.
Hey, Shane, Dave again. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was kind of curious about the running back rotation, I guess specifically with Juju and him coming off what he did in the fourth quarter against
Carolina. We had plans to get Juju in the game, and our plan was for Kevin to start and Juju to be in there pretty early, and nothing really changed with the plan. There were some things when Juju was going in that Sat called that probably wasn't the best situation to put Juju in, and run pass was things like that. But nothing's changed with our mindset with Juju. He is a playmaker. He's a guy that we've got to continue to get the ball to. He should have had more carries last night. He should have had carries last night, and that's on us as coaches to make sure we get that done. And again, a lot of it was, as the game was going, how the game was going, and some plays that were going to be called when he was in there and things like that. We've got to, we want to ask our running backs to do everything. We don't, try and limit guys to any one thing, but there were a couple situations when Juju would have been in there that we just felt a little bit better about Kevin or Marshawn or Andre.
I'm sorry about that. Sort of on that topic with Jaheim, I think he played a decent amount, but was he mostly just kind of helping out in protection and stuff, or what was sort of going on with him?
He played a really good amount, unlike we went into the game and said, okay, Jaheim's just going to be in protection. It's just the way the game goes, guys. We had Jaheim in there. Nick played I think 50-some plays, and Jaheim was in there quite a bit as well. I don't have the list in front of me, but he played a lot of plays, and Jaheim is, a weapon in our offense and in the passing game, and as is Nick, and as is the rest of the guys. And like everyone else, you guys asked me about EJ last week. Everybody's got to practice well. Everybody's got to be accountable. Everybody's got to be dependable. We got to know as coaches that, when we call something, you can execute the play the way that we want it to be executed, and be accountable. And I'm not saying that Jaheim's not, but that's every single person on the offense. And we're 3 games into the season. Jaheim has made plays for this offense already. We'll continue to make plays for us, and every game is different, as far as how we're trying to win that football game. There were a lot of plays that we had called for Jaheim last night that, maybe we weren't able to get the ball to him because of, protection issues or the coverage they played or whatever it may be. Nothing's changed in our minds with Jaheim Bell.
Shane, they began 3 straight games with multiple defensive takeaways. Just in a general sense, just how much does that do for the morale of the team when you're getting multiple fumbles or interceptions per game?
Oh, it's huge. We one of the keys that we have each week is winning the turnover battle, and we won the turnover battle last night. And fantastic plays by Jalen Foster on the interceptions to give us field position. Great job by our defense ripping the ball out, late in the game and getting the ball back. So that's fantastic. The margin for error in this league for winning games is very, very small. And, when we're able to win the turnover battle and create turnovers and create momentum and do that on defense, whether it be the turnovers last night or scoring, against East Carolina and Eastern Illinois, that's huge for the morale of the team. So thanks, guys. Looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday.
Thank you.